Hi everyone, welcome back to the Drivers Room. We're in the Sunday League today. This is Season 3, Round 7, Tier 2, racing at the Nürburgring 24-hour layout. Two cars on offer today. We've got a Toyota FT1 versus the Lexus LF. Let's see how qualifying went today. Pole position today, we have JC starting on the Racing Super Softs, opting for the Lexus. In second place today we have Kamaru starting on the Racing Super Softs. He's gone for the Toyota today. Qualifying third place today we have Nightmare Racer starting on the Racing Softs and jumping in the Toyota. Fourth place on the grid today we have Jules starting on the Racing Super Softs, going for the Lexus. In fifth place today we have AGT Grimlock, Racing Super Softs on the front, Racing Softs on the rear. Going for the Toyota today. Starting from 6th today we have Jason, gone for the Racing Softs and the Toyota. Starting 7th today we have Monroe, he's on the Racing Softs and gone for the Lexus. 8th on the grid today we have Big Shadow, starting on the Racing Softs, gone for the Toyota. In 9th place today we have Scary Guy, starting on the Racing Super Softs, going for the Toyota also. In 10th place today we have Coolio, starting on the Racing Super Softs in the Toyota. 11th place on the grid today we have Zombie Speed, starting on the Racing Super Softs in the Toyota. And rounding off the grid today, 12th place we have Speed 140, starting on the Racing Super Softs, also in the Toyota. A rolling start down to turn 1 today. Let's see how we get on. So here we are in the penultimate round of Season 3 from Tier 2, the Drivers Room Sunday League. Nürburgring 24-hour layout. I say rolling start down to turn 1. Also gets very bunched up through that very tight sections through turns 1 and 2 of this particular layout. See how we get on, as that is lights out, are underway now, up to speed. So a bit of field spread going into turn 1 just to avoid any sort of carnage. You see the overtake button being used by JC into the run into turn 1, but leads us through cleanly. Kamaru right on his tail, as Kamaru's had a really good line through turns 1 and 2. I think that's Monroe running a little bit wide there, just dropping through the pack a little bit. A good qualifying today from Monroe, starting 7th. Lost a couple of places there already. Oh, looks like he's put a wheel on the grass there as well. Oh, and he's collected someone at the back. It's Monroe and Scary Guy facing the wrong way. Monroe just yielding that place. A real shame there. Really good qualifying for Monroe today, sticking it on 7th. Made an early mistake now, just needs to get his head down, hopefully find that qualifying pace again and get back amongst it. Right at the front of the pack now you've got Kamaru putting JC under a lot of pressure. As I said before, you really want to get yourself in front before the Drsl section starts. That was very, very difficult to overtake. I do feel most days this race will come down to consistency, as Kamaru is still putting JC under pressure, but JC doing enough as they come through the final section of the Nürburgring and onto the Drsl for the first time. So JC leading everyone on first, Kamaru in second, Nightmare Racer still running in third, Jules in 4th, Grimlock in 5th. So you've got Jason in 6th place. Coolio's moved up from the back of the pack, making the most of the collisions in front of him, moved himself up into 7th now. Zombie Speed up into 8th from 11th on the grid. Speed 140 moving up from 12th to 9th now. Big Shadow in 10th, just a little bit of a tank slapper on there. Scary Guy recovering in 11th, Monroe in 12th. Back to the lead of the race now, as it looks like Kamaru's getting closer again. As he get a good exit through here, there's a bit of a straight. Don't think he's quite close enough to make a move now. I think he's going to have to go, all these cars have to go single file through this fast right hander now. was a bit of a wheel on the grass there from JC. Don't know if he's lost speed. As Kamaru's forced to the outside of the track there. Very, very narrow section. And that is Jules binning it into the side. He's just about kept the speed up there, but big accident there from Jules. I think he's just about got away with that. He's got Nightmare Racer all over the back of Kamaru now. As Kamaru recovering from going off track a little bit there. A bit further down the pack. And looks like we've had an incident somewhere. See Zombie Speed off the track. Let's have a quick look back at that. So yeah, a little bit further back in the race. Just watching Jason now as he's fastly approaching Jules up ahead, who you see that dirt being kicked up there. He's slow into this left-hander, and as Jason goes wide, he just puts a wheel on the grass. Full 360 there. Gives Zombie Speed a little bit of a tap on the way through. It's a good recovery from Jason nevertheless. He full 360 back up to 7th place. As Zombie Speed getting really caught out there by the carnage. Drops back into 9th place now. Speed 140 up into 8th place. Back to the lead of the race. As Kamaru's nudging JC, and this looks like a move. Kamaru goes through the outside and into the lead of the race on the opening lap. Nightmare Racer still close behind this battle in 3rd. Top 3 places, nose to tail at the moment. Kamaru does take the lead of the race. See if JC can fight back in the Lexus. I think we've got 2 Lexus in the top 4 at the moment, but we've got a Toyota leading the way, and further back down the grid we've had an incident. I think Scary Guy's had an off somewhere. Munro moving himself up into 11th place, but it looks like Kamaru's pulled a bit of a gap to JC already. JC just losing a bit of consistency at the moment. His Nightmare Racer still looking dangerous in 3rd place, ready to capitalise on any mistakes up ahead. Grimlock and Coolio close together now, as Grimlock has a bit of a moment there, allows Coolio through, but does get Grimlock does get that place back. As Coolio in a tight line going into that corner. Grimlock back up into 4th, Coolio in 5th, Jules in 6th place now, Speed in 7th, Jason in 8th, Zombie Speed in 9th, Big Shadow in 10th, Munro in 11th, Scary Guy in 12th. A very action-packed opening few minutes of this race, as the top 3 have a little bit of field spread now. Nightmare Racer picking up a penalty as well. That will a 3-point bonus for a clean race in the Sunday League. Keep emphasis on obviously clean driving and no corner cutting, but this game can be very temperamental with its track limits and contact penalties, as we all know. Grimlock doing a good job here, just fending off the pressure from Coolio in 5th, all over his bumper at the moment. And Grimlock, a very, very difficult guy to overtake. Just a very tough driver. Puts his car in very good positions. So he's doing a good job fending off Coolio at the moment, and at the same time looks like he is closing the gap to 3rd place man Nightmare Racer. That's the top 2. Kamaru in clean air now. He's putting in some good sectors. JC just about hanging on. Nightmare Racer just dropping off a little bit of the top 2. So Grimlock closing up slowly behind. Speed 140 running in clean air in 6th place now. Zombie Speed in 7th, Jason in 8th. Jules has had an incident somewhere. He was running higher up the pack than that. Down in 9th place now. Big Shadow still running in 10th. He's had a quiet race so far. Munro in 11th, getting himself back up to speed, as is Scary Guy. Kamaru doing a good job out in the lead of the race at the moment. JC's had a good, strong finish to this season. I think there's a good battle in the league table developing between about 3rd and 8th place. Grimlock, his Nightmare Racer's had an incident somewhere. It's falling right back through the pack, still recovering now. Let's take a look back. So Nightmare Racer running in 3rd place at the moment. Seems to have got got to move on again, as he seems to have pulled a little bit of a gap back to the battle behind between Grimlock and Coolio. So I don't know if he's had an unforced error somewhere. As you come through this spot, oh, as the car just lifts up over that curb, launches him into the air. It's a bit of a passenger through that one. It's Grimlock up in the third, Coolio in the fourth now, as you do see Nightmare right back through the grid. Just as he started to find a bit more pace again there, just got caught out by the curb. And yeah, huge crash there. He's got Jason and Jules at full speed closing up behind now as well. A little bit of damage to contend with for Nightmare as he comes through these fast S's towards the end of this lap. Just about holding on to it. Jason has a huge crash there. Both gets the rear wheels onto the sand there, lights up the back end and spears straight into the barrier. And Nightmare's had a poor exit out of the mini carousel and drops back. So Jules might well be able to break that toe as well. Does look like he's pulled a bit of a gap to Nightmare, now in 8th place. Right, let's have a quick run through the grid now as we've got the leaders of the race just finishing the main straight now. Kamaru's got a decent gap back to JC in 2nd, still keeping him honest though. Guys going to have to watch their tyre wear obviously, as a 7 to 8 minute lap around the Nürburgring 24 hour. Obviously a bit longer than the Nordschleife with the GP circuit added as well, and that is a bit of an incident there between Coolio and Grimlock, as Coolio lighting up the tyres there. But yeah, JC diving into the pits at the end of the first lap, really interested. Tyre wear looked really good, so I think just because he had a gap, he's obviously had a good enough gap back to 3rd place, but he's gone in for a stop anyway. See how that pans out as the race carries on. See how quick Kamaru is on his first flying lap on the slightly warm rubber. But Grimlock up to 3rd place now, Speed 140 in 4th, Zombie Speed in 5th, Coolio in 6th place. So yeah, a bit of a coming together between Grimlock and Coolio at the end of that lap. And Coolio coming up worse off, falling back to 6th place now. Jules running in 7th, still got Nightmare Racer behind in 8th. So if Nightmare can regain his composure, find that qualifying pace and start move up the grid again. Jason running in 9th. Jason's had a few incidents today. I say this race does often come down to consistency, and a mistake-free race will always make you places up, as Munro goes sideways through turn 1, lighting up the tyres. Racing softs, quite a bit of tyre wear already for Munro on the racing softs. Big Shadow coming through in 11th, so Big Shadow's an incident somewhere. He was running in 10th, but Munro up into 10th now, and a scary guy just coming into turn 1 now, running in 12th. Kamaru going purple obviously on the first flying lap. See what sort of pace JC. Yeah, really interesting tactic there from JC. And 3rd, 4th and 5th running close together now, as Grimlock maintaining his stubborn stance and maintaining track position really well, as he's in the final podium spot now. Certainly not going to want to relinquish that position anytime soon. He's got a hell of a lot of pressure to deal with now though. He gets a little bit untidy through that section. There's nowhere for these cars to go as they all get bunched up. This is the fight for the final podium spot at the moment, as we're 10 minutes into this race, 20 minutes left to go. Grimlock under all sorts of pressure. I think Coolio a little bit further behind in the blue. Toyota just starting to close the gap up to these cars as well, and this is Speed and Speed 140 and Zombie Speed down side by side. Zombie Speed holding on to 4th place there. So Grimlock definitely has to use these opportunities of cars fighting behind to try and pull away, keep it neat and tidy and consistent. Come through some practically flat out left-hander. Coolio just starting to, I don't know, a bit of a gap back between Speed 140 and Coolio at the moment. He does have to get a bit of a move on. He's going to get himself back in the fight for this final podium spot. go on board with Speed 140 for a little while. We'll see how this fight looks from his point of view on board. Just about to see Coolio in the rear view mirror there. Grimlock a little bit untidy there, loses a bit of speed, but again doing enough to hold on to that track position. Speed 140 all over the back of him. Coming up to the slowest part of the track pretty much. Get the power down, up and over the hill. Yeah, Grimlock doing a really good job in third place at the moment. I've started 5th place on the grid today. Coolio slowly, oh, and he's had a huge mistake there. So he's slowly getting onto the back of that fight. We see how far Nightmare Racer is behind, who is running in 7th place now. And Coolio just recovering there, getting himself back up to speed. Nightmare Racer, next man down the road. Jules running in 8th place now, so no stops from these guys at the back. So I think JC, the only man to stop on the opening lap. Big Shadow in 11th, Scary Guy in 12th. Out in the lead of the race now. Let's take a quick look at the live timings. And 7.7 second gap back to second place man JC. But I think JC's just offset his pit strategy maybe to see if see what happens as this race pans out. Obviously Kamaru more than likely come in at the end of this lap, and I would imagine, although JC hasn't taken on any fuel, I would have thought JC might have tried to get 2 laps in on this stint and would have took the lead of the race when Kamaru pitted. So anyway, quick run through the grid again now. It's come up to 14 minutes. Kamaru out in the lead of the race, touching an 8-second gap back to JC in second. He's out in the freshest rubber on track at the moment, the softest compound as well, so I should really be looking to reel in Kamaru up front. As you've got this battle for 3rd, 4th and 5th still close together, as it looks like Zombie Speed and Speed 140 are getting into a battle again. I say should give Grimlock a bit of breathing room in 3rd place, but yeah, Grim doing a good job in 3rd. Similar fuel levels, Speed 140's done a much better job on the fuel. Similar fuel levels between Zombie Speed and Grimlock, so we'll have similar pit stop times. There's a good chance Speed 140 might get the jump on these guys. She's done a good job on its fuel level. This opening stint, the 3rd, 4th and 5th still bunched up, running nose to tail. This track is pretty difficult at the best of times. Becomes even more so as they Zombie Speed trying to find a way past there. There's a bit of door rubbing on the entry of this braking zone, and Zombie Speed does muscle his way past there and up into 3rd place. All cars just about keeping it on the tarmac there. But yeah, Zombie Speed going for that opportunity. Tries to get in front before the main straight, which he does. Grimlock in 4th place now. See what Speed 140 can do from 5th. And it does look like Zombie Speed has broken the toe. Grimlock behind. Grimlock may come under pressure from Speed 140. Jump on board again. Yeah, it should be a pretty clean overtake down the main straight as his car starts to reach the top end. So Grimlock breaking the toe there. But yeah, here comes the slipstream. Really get the move done before the Bilstein Bridge. As he moves out to the left, they're side by side, just about avoiding contact there. They're still just about side by side. Speed 140 doing just enough to get his nose in front there. Gets himself up into 4th place. But yeah, JC pitting again from 2nd. Kamaru pitting from 1st place as well. Come through back out into the lead of the race. Speed 140 going for another lap, so that is the reason for his conserving the fuel. see what he can do in clean airs. He obviously will get the jump on Zombie Speed and AGT Grimlock. Will be close between these two guys coming out the pits. Nightmare Racer coming through, diving into the pits at the end of lap 2, and Zombie Speed rejoins in 4th place. Grimlock will rejoin in 5th. See what Zombie Speed can do in a bit of clean air now as well. But interesting from Speed 140, getting 3 laps out of this opening stint. 2nd place man JC, not actually that far down the road now. JC's made his 2nd pit stop of the, and Kamaru's had an incident somewhere. He's recovering in 2nd place now. Let's take a quick look back at that. So interesting from JC. He's had an extra pit stop, but he's taken a lot less fuel on that stop and has closed the gap up to Kamaru quite a bit. But following Kamaru now, I think he's just had an unforced error somewhere, because there's still a reasonably good gap at the moment. Back to JC. We're going to start at lap 3 anyway. Both these guys out on fresh rubber. JC making his 2nd pit stop. Oh, and there he is, just gone too deep into that corner. Just a lapse in concentration there from Kamaru. JC moves up into the lead of the race, and Speed 140 isn't that far behind. On for a 1-stopper today. He's done really well with the fuel. But Kamaru in 2nd place now. Anyway, see if he can fight back and recover. Start to put JC under pressure. So yeah, JC in the lead of the race now. 17.5 minutes gone. Speed 140 running in 3rd place. Got quite a bit of tyre wear to contend with for this lap. Does go purple in his opening sectors though. And Zombie Speed rejoining in 4th place after his pit stop. See if he can get to the end of the race now. AGT Grimlock taking on a full tank of fuel. A little bit of drifting there. Rejoins in 5th place. Nightmare Race back up into 6th place now, just outside the top 5 positions. Jules not that far behind in 7th. And Coolio in 8th place. Jason in 9th now. He's got Munro in the pits at the moment. Big Shadow comes through to take 10th place. There's a little bit offset with the strategies as well. So Munro still in the pits, taking on quite a bit of fuel. Scary guy just coming through to complete lap 2. And where's JC gone? As I've gone through the grid, we now have Kamaru back in the lead. What happened there? Let's take a look back. So just rejoining the action a little bit further back. I think Kamaru is starting to close the gap. Oh, there goes the back end. He's out onto the grass and lights up the tyres in all the wrong way there. Just about gets it facing the right way in time. He smokes up the back, but Speed 140 right on his tail now. So yeah, huge unforced error there from JC, as he did reclaim the lead of the race temporarily, as Kamaru had made a similar mistake just a few corners before that. But Kamaru back in the lead of this race now. JC recovering in 2nd place. Obviously that's a fresh rubber, should still be able to pull a bit of a gap to Speed 140 in 3rd. But yeah, interesting turn of events on lap 3 of this race. Is just getting close to the 20-minute mark. Speed 140 in 3rd, Zombie Speed in 4th still, AGT Grimlock running in 5th, Nightmare still in 6th, Jules in 7th. I'm going to end up getting to the back of the front, go to the front of the race, and they'll be position swapped again. Jules in 7th, Coolio in 8th, Jason in 9th, Big Shadow in 10th, Munro in 11th, Scary Guy in 12th. So I'm just going to bring up the live timings. Kamaru reinstates that 7-second gap over JC in 2nd. Speed a couple of seconds behind. So closest cars on track at the moment will be Coolio trying to close the gap up to 7th place man Jules. And just as we flick to Jules, he takes a little bit of a excursion, but keeps the speed up anyway. But Coolio looking a little bit untidy in the Toyota today. See what he can do to put the pressure on Jules up ahead. Nearly a quarter of a tank of fuel difference between these two cars. Coolio in a better position fuel wise, right on his bumper now. You've got Nightmare Racer not that far up the road. Nightmare Racer's had damage somewhere, so I think he had a better gap than that back to Jules a minute ago. So running with damage now, has had an instant drop back a little bit. May well find himself come under pressure from Jules in 7th now. Obviously towing along Coolio in 8th place. A couple of mistakes from Nightmare Racers today. A good qualifying performance. I was running in a comfortable 3rd for quite a while. Had a huge incident earlier going over the curbs, chucking it into the barrier. Looks like he's had another incident somewhere, as he is now coming under pressure from Jules behind. So Will on the grass there. We've got yellow flags up ahead. Grimlock's had an incident somewhere. Grim was running in 5th anyway, but he's had a huge incident somewhere as he's got front end damage, and this could turn into a 4-car fight as Nightmare's wide around the carousel there, but keeps the speed up, maintains 6th position. But yeah, you got to think Nightmare be looking to close the gap up on 5th place man Grimlock. Does have 2 cars behind to worry about now. As it looks like we're going to get one more lap in after this. There's Coolio all over the back of Jules again. Just can't find a way through. This has allowed, I was going to say, has allowed Nightmare to get back up to speed and away from this fight. Nearly binged it on the exit of that corner. But yeah, you can see Grimlock a little bit further up the road now. He's going to want to try and get on his tail before the main straight, get the benefit of that slipstream all the way down there. Jules still doing enough to fend off this fight, fend off the pressure from Coolio behind. Rejoin race leader Kamaru, just chucking it down the main straight now. JC in 2nd place, so around 7 or 8 second gap last time we checked between these two. JC in a comfortable 2nd, nevertheless probably almost earned himself a free pit stop again. Zombie Speed going critical on fuel now as he comes in for what is his first stop, so he's going to be lightning quick on this last stint. Only has to fuel up enough for 1 lap as well. Zombie Speed running in a good 4th place now, with Kamaru jumping into the pits from the lead of the race. Yeah, just checking, JC 11% of fuel there, so had to pit anyway. Speed 140 coming through now to make his first pit stop of the race. Really great opening stint there, 24 minutes on the racing softs. He jumps into the pit. Zombie Speed coming through to complete another lap. So fight for 3rd place hots up, because I think Zombie Speed moves himself up into 3rd now. Speed 140 still in the pits, fueling up. Does rejoin the race in 4th place. I think Grimlock has to pit from 5th. That'll flash up on the graphic in a minute. Speed 140 comfortably rejoins the race in 4th, and a little bit further back we have Coolio in front of this pack. Let's take a quick look back. So yeah, just rejoining the fight between Jules and Coolio, as we did go back to the front of the pack. It looks like it has kicked off between these two. I think Jules has had, I think this was a similar incident to Nightmare Racers. It takes a huge chunk of curb, just sends the car up in the air, a bit of a passenger into the barrier, and does fall back to 8th place. So Coolio up to 7th, but when we did rejoin the action, Coolio was ahead of Nightmare Racer, so I think he's got himself close enough and got the move done down the main straight, probably. Yeah, Grimlock's still in 5th place ahead of these two. So you see, all Nightmares had a really untidy entry into that right-hander. So Coolio getting the job done up to 6th place before the straight. And as we see, I think he does go through to complete another lap after this. Grimlock as well. I did say Grimlock had to pit, but he's good for fuel and is known for stretching out tyre life a little bit longer than most and still maintaining pretty good speed there. So a big chunk of grass cut through Bilstein. I'll just stay with Grimlock. I think he does go through to complete another lap. 5 minutes of the race left to go. This will be the final lap for everyone. So yeah, Grimlock coming through in 5th place, Coolio in 6th, Nightmare in 7th place, Jules diving into the pits from 8th. Next man down the road is Jason. Should be good to go for another lap from here, we'll see. And might well be close between Jason and Jules on pit exit, but we'll see. Yeah, Jules still in the pit fueling up as Jason comes across the start finish line. Yeah, Jules coming out the pit exit now. But yeah, hasn't done enough there as Jason moves himself up into 8th place now. See, Jules will be quick for this last stint. See if he can close the gap up to Jason. Put him under pressure, but Big Shadow in 10th place. Munro still running in 11th, just about, as he has a bit of an excursion there. I think he's got enough of a gap back to Scary Guy in 12th to be safe from any moves there. But Kamaru takes on to the Drsl for the last time today. Cleanly out in the lead of the race. JC in 2nd, out in the fresh rubber. Zombie Speed behind, not that far, but does have a bit of tyre wear to contend with. So as long as JC keeps it neat and tidy, should be able to cement that 2nd position today. Speed 140 as on the racing hards. Okay, that's an interesting tactic. See what sort of speed he carries on the racing hards. That may well have been a mistake. I can't see why. Yeah, it must have been a mistake, but we'll see what happens there anyway. There's Grimlock a little bit further down the road, under pressure from Coolio now. There's Coolio getting caught out on the brakes and entry of the corner. 5th and 6th being maintained for now, no damage. That's Coolio looking very racy, looking like he wants to nab that last top 5 position today. See if Grimlock can fend off that charge again. Nightmare Racer close behind in 7th. So we can keep it consistent and obviously make up any positions if people make mistakes. Up ahead, Jason in 8th. Jules looking to, big chunk of curb there from Jules and the big Lexus, but yeah, Jules out on the fresh rubber. Really wants to put Jason under pressure towards the end of this lap. Big Shadow rejoining in 10th place, Munro coming through and on to his final lap of the race. Not quite close enough to Big Shadow. Big Shadow just coming out of turn 2 now, doing enough to hold on to that final top 10 spot at the moment. So we'll catch a bit of drifting from Munro through the first corner again. There you go, Scary Guy in 12th place. Quick look at the live timings again. 8.5 second gap. Now back to JC in 2nd. Barring any mistakes, looks like Kamaru is on for a win today. So not trying to drop any commentators' curses. JC doing a good job in second still. Zombie Speed carrying good speed in third with that worn rubber. Doing just enough to keep JC honest at the moment. Giving JC something to think about. Not far off picking up that toe either. To catch a lovely bit of drifting from speed 140 on the racing hards. So check the gap back to speed 140. No, sorry. Not, what? Yeah, Coolio, so I'm getting confused. Hold on, why is Grimlock in 7th place? Right, that's why I'm getting confused. Let's take a quick look back, see what's happened there. So just rejoining the action a bit further back between Grimlock, Coolio, Nightmare, 5th, 6th and 7th. So I got a bit confused. I was looking for the time back to speed 140 out on the racing hards. I was looking at his times relevant to these guys behind to see if they was closing the gap up. But yeah, Grimlock in 5th place, still been under pressure pretty much this entire race, and this is Coolio looking around the outside, big chunk of corner taken there, and yeah, he does yield that position back. Fair driving there. Grimlock back up into 5th. Coolio just can't find a way past this point in the race. So I think it's either coming together. Oh, Coolio sliding out there again. Getting really untidy now. Tyre wear kicking in on these cars. And there it is. That's Grimlock just loses the back end, spins awkwardly and ends up facing the wrong way. And then next man down the road, I think there's a little bit of contact between Jules and Grimlock just recovering. Or does he have another incident somewhere? Yeah, all over the place at the moment. So yeah, I think Jules is going to get some yellow flags as we come through now. So Grimlock just losing his composure a little bit. Yeah, Jules just about slipping past there. Looks like Jason. Oh, Jason just about squeezes past there as well as Grimlock still recovering. Jason's into the wall now, nose first. Grimlock in 8th. And yeah, really good race from Grimlock up until that point. Just lost his composure a bit. And that has allowed Nightmare Racer up into 5th place. So Coolio's huge engine damage from Coolio. Let's take another look back. Right, so a little bit further back again. Grimlock was having trouble a little bit further back as he's already fallen behind. So Coolio finally in clean air now in 5th place. Completely bit. Oh, that was a huge shunt there. About 80 mile an hour to 0 in a split second there. But huge engine damage. This may well allow Jules to come back at him towards the end of this race. So yeah, Nightmare Racer back up to 5th place now. So just needs to keep it neat and tidy. And should be able to maintain that position till the end now. All kicking off on the final lap of this race. Coolio still recovering with that engine damage in 6th place. Jules in 7th. Grimlock back up to speed in 8th place now. Jason in 9th. Big Shadow 10th. Monroe 11th. And Scary Guy in 12th. Yeah, struggling to keep up with this one a little bit, but Kamaru out in the lead of the race. Nothing changing here. For the time being, there's 3 minutes of this race left to go now for Kim. Had some good battles today, but yeah, JC would have been close between these two drivers if they both kept it mistake free. Obviously that is the nature of this track. So Zombie Speed still doing a good job in 3rd place, just about hanging on the back of JC at the moment with that warm rubber, still going purple. Speed 140, good job in 4th place today. Nightmare Racer in 5th. Coolio in 6th now, and got rid of that damage. Back up to speed. Jules in 7th, Grimlock in 8th. Looks like Jason having an incident in 9th place. I think he's got a huge gap back to 10th place, man. Big Shadow, so he is safe in 9th. Big Shadow in 10th, Munro in 11th, and Scary Guy, our first official finisher today, in 12th. A bit of a struggle. It's track car combo. So, race leader Kamaru taking us on to the straight for the final time. Very solid drive today from Kim. One mistake, obviously, lost a chunk of time, but I think that's pretty much been it. Forced off the track earlier in the race and composed himself well, got his head down, and has taken this race by the scruff of the neck. He's come through the final few corners now. Yeah, good job from Kamaru. Started second on the grid today, just missing out on pole. So comes across the line to take the checkered flag and the win today. Congratulations, Kamaru. JC holding on to second place there. Good race from JC again, another solid result towards the end of this season. Zombie Speed rounding out the podium places. Good drive, take it home, bring it home in 3rd place. Speed 140 just coming off the main straight now. Good drive from Speed 140 as well, bring home 4th. Still had good pace on the racing hards as well. So Nightmare Racer not managing to close the gap up. Speed 140 taking the checkered flag in 4th place today. Nightmare Racer just come around the final corner now. Top 5 finish for Nightmare. Say the battle in the table, I'll go through the grid properly in next week's race and let points and positions, but there's a very, very tight battle in the table between about 3rd and 8th. Nightmare Racer, Grimlock, Jules, JC, Jason, all involved in that one, but Jules bringing that home in 6th place today, just ahead of Coolio in 7th. Shame for last lap incidents for Grimlock, had a good race up until that point, brings home in 8th. Solid points nevertheless. Jason bringing it home in 9th place today. As we've got Big Shadow just coming through now. Oh no, I thought that was the final section of the race, but yeah, Big Shadow bringing it home in 10th today, round out the top 10, and Munro in 11th. And that was the Drivers Room Sunday League Season 3 Round 7 Tier 2. Thanks for watching, we'll see you next week.